to give my opinion on some of the best planes in Grand Theft Auto. Also, we'll be talking about some helicopters. Now, right now is one of the best times to get a lot of these because the Hydra, B-11 Strike Force, Akula, and the F-1H Hunter are all on sale. Now, there's only probably, I guess, just a few here. Most of these you don't need. I wouldn't recommend the Starling for unskilled pilots. Hydra's really good if you're not skilled, but if you don't want to watch this the full length of this video, I'm just gonna go it out real quick. Basically, everything in this hangar besides the Starling, B-11 Strike Force, or the Savage, or the Akula, are actually no, fuck it. The Akula is a must-have, or the Savage, or the Hunter. So everything besides that is a must-have. So the Bezra, Starling, B-11 Strike Force, F-1H Hunter, and Savage. I'm not really going to talk about them much because that's just what I personally like. The Pyro, the Hydra, and the Akula are what we're mainly going to be talking about. A little bit on the B-11 Strike Force and all the others, but not a lot. So now starting off with the Hydra, it is a Pegasus plane which usually retails for 3.9 million. Now it's pretty expensive considering it's about 4 million you would need if you're looking to buy this aircraft. All you can do with it is respray it. That's it. I would recommend chrome. It doesn't look good, but it sort of acts like an active camo in the Halo games. But the best thing about this jet that all you guys probably already know, you can't play GTA without coming across this thing, is that it's VTOL. It has a super overpowered cannon. It's fast, can outrun any missile by just simply spinning in a circle. And really the only bad part about it is that, the missiles are like the buzzard. You fire 2, and then you have to wait 5 seconds, I think it is, for another set of missiles. Now that's the first plane. I'm not going to go much into detail on that because everybody's heard of it. It's not anything special. But yeah, it's on sale right now for I think 1.1 million, somewhere around there, 1.16. Now, yeah, it's an amazing aircraft. It's good for beginners. Usually, it's not that hard to fly. The VTOL mode's a little hard to control. That's pretty much it. Now, moving on, the Akula. I'm gonna start off with the least advanced thing. So the Akula is not very advanced, but it is a little wonky during some weather, as the Hydra flies very smooth in all weather. Now, the main thing about this is if you're playing on console, you press right on the D-pad, and those little 2 machine guns on the side go in, but you can see that I can't use weapons or any of that. That's because I'm in stealth mode. No players can see me on the radar, and since this can fit 4 people, it's amazing for doing like hostile takeover and gold and all that stuff. Also selling products, cocaine, if they do give you the bags, it's really good for that without getting shot down. Now, the other part I want to mention about this is that it's super easy to land, and it takes off pretty fast. It is one of the fastest helicopters in the game, but it's not. It's one of the fastest between the Buzzard, Savage, Akula, and Hunter. I think it places like 2nd or something like that. I'm not sure. Now, the weapons on this are pretty good. You have dual machine guns that the passenger can operate. You have homing missiles. You can put barrage on it, but I wouldn't recommend it because it's only a 4 missile barrage. You do have 30 homing missiles, I think, before it runs out. You have these machine guns, which aren't really that good, and they're not really used often, but they come with it stock in case you don't have much money. And if you're willing to invest, you can even put bombs on this thing, which is actually not bad considering its speed. It gets, pretty good bomb groupings. Now, I would recommend cluster. Most other aircrafts, I will not recommend cluster on it, but since this, you're mostly, gonna be fighting, things on the ground, people, and people in vehicles instead of, other aircraft and all that. Yeah, I would definitely recommend that. Now, the other case with just regular bombs, if it doesn't have a very nice spread like the Akula does, just go with regular bombs. They have a bigger explosive yield and do more damage. I think that's all it has to cover, and I'm pretty sure the back 2 passengers can use night vision, either night vision or infrared, I think, one or the other. Now, next plane I'm moving on to is the B-11 Strike Force. which is a fairly good plane. It has, you know, decent modifications, but I'm not going to show those. I'm not really going to show modifications on anything because that would make the video too long. I'm trying to make this as short as possible. Now, the best part I think about the B11 is just what it's based on and what it sounds like. Like, it's based on the A-10 Warthog, which is one of most people's favorite planes. It's a good aircraft in real life, not that good in the game. Its cannon is similar to that of, I guess you would say, a Rogue, maybe a little bit faster. But the main weapon on this for dogfighting is going to be your cannon, but it's very good for dogfighting because of the turn radius. You can spin in a very tight circle with this thing. Now, it comes equipped stock with homing missiles, barrage missiles, which is just like the Hunter. It's a 7-missile barrage, and it's pretty precise considering that this aircraft flies really slow. Now, it does get a speed boost when you go above 1 tick on the altimeter. Or, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, I just don't give a shit. You see a camera zooms out and you go a little bit faster. Now, your main weapons are pretty much going to be your cannon and your barrage. You're not really going to touch the homing missiles. I think I covered this in my last video. But either way, I'm just going over a good hangar. The only reason this hangar is good because it operates very well. You have a plane for dogfighting. You have a plane designated for each thing. This is also really good for taking out ground targets. Now, it does have bombs. I think I have cluster on it. Yes. Yeah, I don't know why I put cluster on it. I used to like buy the most expensive things, and I would think it would make me look cool. And this thing can take quite a bit of rockets. It has flares. It has all that. And yeah, it's just a generally a good aircraft. But if you want to see more in depth on it, I guess I went more in depth in my other video. I don't know. I know I did the same thing with the Starling, but again, I'm just gonna go over every aircraft and its use. That use would obviously be dogfighting and close air support. The Akula is just if you're gonna sell things. Hydra is just fucking amazing at doing everything. Hydra isn't my most used though. I would definitely say it's between my Hunter, Pyro, B11, or Starling. Now, speaking of the Hunter, I'm gonna move over to this now just because I wanna sort of keep like a path of what they're good at. So we started off with close air support. We kind of stuck with that. This is fucking amazing as a sort of a gunship helicopter and a close air support. Now it comes equipped with a 7-missile barrage, just like the B-11, and homing missiles, which it actually has unlimited of, but if you fire them, they don't appear on in the missile caddy or whatever that's called. But there is unlimited, and there is also unlimited barrage. Now, the cannon on the bottom there, you can either have a 50 cal machine gun, which sucks, or the explosive. The explosive's good, slower fire rate, similar to the Bombushka. A little bit faster, though. Now, you do have bombs on this thing, and it's really good at bombing for a helicopter. Most helicopters kind of suck at that, but this is, I think, one of just this and the Akula are helicopters that can bomb. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and it's really good. It's good for doing headhunter because it can get into a lot of tight spaces, and it's pretty resilient. But the main part about it is that you just see it's really long, and this tail kind of whips around wildly a lot. It's very hard to control. But I mean, it's not that hard. As long as you know how to fly a helicopter straight and all that, you're good. Alright, well, next I think I'm going to move on to the... Well, the Starling's obviously going to be last just because it's obviously the hardest to fly, in my opinion. Now, I think next I'll probably do the Savage because that should have been earlier on the list. It's fairly easy to fly. It's just big and bulky, and it could only take around 3 homing missiles exploding on the 3rd one, just like all other gun-running vehicles. But it does excel in taking out oppressors from what I've seen. Even though this cannon is the exact same as the Hydra or the laser or any of those, it does more damage and it has a higher explosive yield. Limited to them, they fire fast and all that. There's no time you have to wait, you have unlimited firing and all that. Now it's big, it's bulky, it's that, but the good thing about it is its hitbox is absolutely massive, so once there's a chance that it's not gonna hit you. And now this cannon is just taking out ground targets and dogfighting other helicopters, maybe even jets if you're good enough. But I've personally used it more to take out oppressors than anything else because, as we all know, that is what haunts GTA. Alright, now, I don't know what I didn't cover. Just the pyro. Considering the pyro is very hard to fly and it's big for a small jet. Now, it's questionable at sometimes. In certain weather, I've noticed fog especially, it's really hard to fly just because of how fast it is. But it is the second fastest aircraft in the game, second to the Bezra. Actually, no, fuck it. The Starling's the fastest in the game when it has its boost, but fastest jet engine aircraft. But it is really fast. It has super good agility. I mean, you can do some of the coolest stunts in the game with this thing, considering its size and speed. But it does come equipped with some really, really good weapons. Not that it has a lot, but its missiles fire extremely fast. And it's just, they go far. They go really far. I think further than the standard missile range, which is about half the runway, or the full runway. Its machine guns are really good. I don't understand why when a lot of people review planes, a lot of them see explosive machine guns as a con, but this can take out, as long as you have a constant rate of machine gun fire, this can take out an insurgent pickup custom as long as it's not armored in I think 1.7 seconds and a night shark in about a second. So they are really, really, really good. Plus this plane lands really well. It's like a Molotov on steroids. It is a two-seater. It's hard to control. That's why it's coming in at second on this list of essential hangar items. And obviously, last but not least, I'm gonna review the Starling. Most likely, a lot of people wouldn't consider buying this. It is the cheapest jet engine aircraft in the game, coming in at $2.7 million trade price. But it's a tiny little aircraft, and it's really good at what it does. And what it does is, a lot of people, you would say, oh, this tiny aircraft, what could it possibly be good at? Bombing. It is extremely good at bombing and dogfighting, considering its speed, and it can go from slow with a good turn radius to super fast with a bad turn radius. But these machine guns are actually pretty damn good. They fire fast and all that. It has unlimited missiles that fire like that. But the main part of this aircraft is that it can bomb, and it's really good at doing it. Considering you can go from breakneck speed to like Bombushka speed in a second. Like, I'm pretty much as slow as I can go right now. As long as I press R2, I move extremely fast. And every target I wanted to hit there is done. Now, that's one of the bad parts about this, that if you're not paying attention, it does fly so slow that, the fuck is it called? It flies so slow that you will actually stop if you just don't use your boost often. So you see, I'm not pressing any buttons on the controller and I immediately go towards the ground. Now the reason this is really hard to fly is just because that boost makes it fast and it kind of blurs your vision a little bit. You can see it more in the cockpit with that little aimer thing, whatever you want to call it, sight. I'm fucking retarded today. It blurs your vision quite a bit while you're in this thing, even outside of the boost. Now the hardest part about it is probably landing. I mean, it doesn't ever land on the first touch, and nobody can really get it to do that. It just refuses. It's because of those two landing gears, but it will land, and it lands pretty smoothly. I've been able to land this in some places, but what I mean by it doesn't land on the first touch is exactly this. Like, if you saw back there, I touched down with the front wheel, and I just, you know, kind of stopped, and then it wobbled up a little bit. It's really annoying, but what I do recommend is slowing down until that little pilot light goes off, and then just holding on that brake. And once you hit the ground, you want to keep it down no matter where you go. You need a long runway for this thing, but that's pretty much the fastest you stop, and it's impossible to take off without that jet boost, which is really, really good. It can get you up in the air extremely fast, and I'm already approaching halfway on that altimeter. It's the fastest climbing plane in the game, and also the fastest plane in the game. Plus, you know, it takes a lot of skill to fly, but that's my list on the most essential hangar vehicles you need, and I'm gonna go back into the hangar one last time, and I'll list all prices and all that. But I think this week until December 10th, most of the aircraft I showed today were on sale. And the best thing about this plane too, it does come equipped with, you know, countermeasures and all that, but you don't need them. It's fast enough that it can outrun anything. Alright, now, you know, with the hangar, the essential things that you would want to get, obviously, are the Akula, the B-11, and the Pyro, which, 2 of them are on sale. Fuck, not the Pyro. The Hydra, B-11 Strike Force, and the Akula, which, if I check Warsaw right now, they're all on sale for fairly cheap if you do have trade price. Yeah, now you can see, there's the Akula, the Hydra, and the B-11 Strike Force, all on sale. Now, another plane I would recommend, but I don't have it, I used to. It's kind of shitty. I mean, the Tula. It's decent. It waterlands and VTOL and all that. It's good for the features it has. Alright, and that's all I'm going to say. And,